Hey guys, Scott White here once again. Part 3 of Good to Great Leader. We're still talking about Jim Collins' book, The Good to Great Leader. Guys, phenomenal read. You definitely want to get that book in your life. So we're still talking about, as we said, The Good to Great Leader. We're going to pick up where we left off, number 9. Excuse me, sorry about that. But number 9 is a good leader should always be able to provide the hind story. You say, what's the hind story? In other words, the behind-the-scenes stuff. Because a good leader should be able to tell his team or her team, listen, things ain't going to be peachy all the time. There are going to be some times where it's going to be rough. You're going to have this. That particular order didn't go through. This person ain't going to be acting right. But you, as a good leader, have to prepare your team for the hind story. Tell them the whole story. Don't just give them the good, because then I think that's what happens on the road to success. We don't explain to people exactly the knots and the bruises that we take along the way just to get to the level of success that we are experiencing. Tell everybody the good. Tell everybody the bad. Tell them the ugly. But at the same time, give them a balance so that they can understand. So that when they start on their road or their path, that they won't be like, oh my gosh, I didn't know it was like this. And they will, in other words, they won't feel alone. Okay? So let's tell them the hind story. Number 10, as a leader, one should always question his or herself. Why, how, or what will it take to get the job done? Okay? In other words, you should always question why, how, or what will it take to get the job done. Sometimes we just got to sit down and ask these questions. Why am I doing this? How am I going to do it? And what will it take to get it done? All right? Those are questions you need to ask on a daily basis. All right? Now remember this. Number 11, risks are chances we take in order to make improvements, establish and develop new relationships, and change results. Okay? Risk. If you're going to be in business, if you're going to take if you're going to work a 9 to 5, you have to at some point take some risks. You've got to be able to have big shoulders, broad shoulders, and say, I know it's supposed to be done this way, but I really believe that if we just get in there and do it this way, that it's going to be good for the team, it's going to be good for the company, and it's going to be good for the overall for the customer. So you want to make sure that it's a good risk. But even still, even if it's not a good risk, hold yourself accountable and stick to the choice or the risk that you're going. Don't get into the blame game if it doesn't turn out right. Don't get into the, oh man, I should have. No, make a decision, make a choice, take the risk, and then go get it. All right, it's okay, it's all right, because this is what's going to help you to be a better leader, from that good to that great leader. All right. Number 12, a leader shouldn't have a problem, convincing others to do any particular job or task. Once people see you are an active participant, they will be persuaded to follow your lead. Now listen, if you're constantly having problems getting people to do something, you may want to check your leadership abilities. I said it. If you ask Sally to do such and such, and Sally looking at you like, who you think you are? Then there's a problem, because maybe it's how you're saying it to Sally. Maybe it's your communication skills. Maybe Sally's looking at you like that simply because she's like, I ain't never seen you do it, so why are you asking me to do it? Let me tell you something. Something that I do, I am a firm believer in this. Before I ask somebody to do something, I'm willing to do it myself. If I ask somebody to pick up the paper off the floor, guess what? I'm picking up the paper off the floor with them. But I'm showing them that it's not beneath me to pick that paper up off. I learned that from my grandfather. He was a pastor of a church. I used to see him do it. And I said, if he could be the pastor and pick up the paper off the floor, surely me being a parishioner there, I can do it too. And I followed that same thing. I've seen my other pastor, Rev Welch. He used to do the same thing. He'd flip on the lights. He'd do all this good stuff. You know what? I said to myself, my father-in-law, I said, listen, father-in-law, if you can do that, guess what? I can do that too. That's right. That's right. Well, folks, that ends part number 3. We're coming back at you with part number 4, so you better be sure that you log in. I'm telling you, this is good, and it's going to get better. The Good to Great Leader. Remember, my name is Scott White, always reminding you that your success is me. Peace.